Oh no, don't split early. Yes! Yes! I got into 180 Emblems thinking I would never do the run, ever. So you either have to be highly motivated, a masochist, or insane. It's 9 hours with 10% of the missions being like RNG. You can't just do that without some level of insanity there. I don't think there's a single part of Chao that can't just kill your run immediately.
Sonic Adventure 2 is an ambitious, beautiful game with a very mean camera that, despite its flaws, has remained a cult favorite and a delightfully ratchet speedrun any way you cut it. In 2001, the level of polish and production behind this game was top shelf. Amazing music, beautiful environments, and something resembling a plot.
You're not even good enough to be
I'll make you eat those words!
Like many 3D platformers on early consoles, the game is a massive sandbox of exploitable jank and mesmerizing movement, all the product of years and years of labbing, routing, and community collaboration. Welcome to Brutal Speedruns, a series about runs so mind-blowingly long and hand-breakingly demanding that it's a wonder anyone attempts them at all. Today's game, Sonic Adventure 2. Today's category, 180 Emblems. Today's runner, Traitor. I'm Phil. Let's not waste any more frames.
Sonic Adventure 2 was the game that I played since I was like 2 years old. It was basically my childhood. SADX, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, all those games I loved for a long time. After a while in high school, I saw that there was AGDQ 2018, saw people doing SA2, thinking, wow, people actually still care about this really old game. They said that there was a Discord. That's where I was like, okay, this is gonna be something I wanna try. I got myself a controller, got the game on Steam, and joined the community.
For the uninitiated, you generally get one emblem every time you complete a level's objective, from beating it normally, to getting 100 coins, to finding a hidden Chao, and so on.
Sometimes I wanna just chill and land, but I'm the protector.
I think the reason that I can put so many hours into SA2 is that there's 3 different groups of characters you can play as. There's speed characters, treasure hunting, and mech, and they all have completely different kinds of gameplay. They're so fun, so unique, and you can optimize them to the point where you can see people understanding where they lose separate frames because of just how much knowledge you gain from doing it so many times over and over and over again. For someone that loves optimizing things, it was like the best thing ever for me. Also, there's 31 stages, so there's just a huge amount of things to optimize. Also, there's Chao, and nobody doesn't like Chao. For SA2, on Steam, it says I have 5,300 hours. That's only on one account. If you include all the time that I spent offline on Dolphin, it was probably around 7,050 hours for just SA2 over the course of 4 years.
No problem.
5,000 attempts in 180, 22,000 attempts in Hero Story. I would say 99% of my attempts didn't get past the 3-minute mark. That's why it was so easy to do up to like 400 attempts in a day. Nice, first try. That's a real gold, again. Speedrunning in general is just doing a performance. You're performing a run, and you just want to do it as cleanly as possible. The thing that I think is the coolest example of that is my favorite skip, City Escape Skip, because not only do you have to do the skip, you have to get at least 8,500 points, and I think I got it in my PB, and it was just amazing. It's the best feeling ever.
The most popular speedrun category by far is Hero Story, with most relevant runs clocking in comfortably south of an hour. This run is loaded with extremely high execution play that occurs at breakneck speed, pushing the limits of human capability all over the place. But we're here to talk about a different run, one so massive, so daunting, that only a handful of people have ever dared to attempt it. A run so absurd that it started out as just a meme between a few of the most talented and knowledgeable players that the game has ever seen. Welcome to 180 Emblems.
I think it started as either my 300 or 500 follower goal. I'm gonna do a 180 emblem run and just finish it no matter how it goes. And I hated it. I was like, oh my god, this is painful. I'm dying everywhere. There's so many things that I didn't know was possible in this game. How am I just now finding out you can clip through the floor by somersaulting in the wrong location? Throughout the run, I was telling people, no, never doing this again. And then it ended 15 hours and 42 seconds. So I was like, well, it's pretty close to under 15 hours. I gotta do it again now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I took a different mindset to it than I did Hero. With Hero, when I would do attempts, I wanted to optimize everything. And if I made a single mistake, that meant a reset. Are you lock on? Alright, I'm good with that attempt. That was annoying. With 180, if you make a mistake, I have hours of leeway between my time and the world record, especially when I was just starting out, and that helped me continue, find joy in it, and just play it a lot more. People do 33.59. That's actually a gold. The life, school, everything balance was pretty easy. You're a high school student, you have nothing to do in your life. So it was hard to have a balance for that, considering I would be up till 3 or 4 in the morning and I had to wake up at 7 in the morning. But high school kids just have infinite energy sometimes. Everyone asks me, how do you stream for like 9, 17 hours, something crazy like that? I think with 180, it's a lot easier because it's all different throughout the entire time. If I tried to do Hero for that long, I think I would go insane. The other popular runs are probably any of the story runs, which is Hero or Dark or all stories to a lesser extent. Hero is just super optimized, and I think that the best way to do it is to consider one a sprint and the other a marathon. One, you have to rely on your ability to just be as perfect as possible, do everything as fast as possible. The other, you have to worry about your consistency. And if you do make a mistake, you have to be aware of the fact that it's going to affect you mentally. You have to think about, what do I believe I'm able to take, and what am I actually able to take? Because those two things are never the same for a person.
Are you kidding?
Whereas with 180, that's kind of just all over the place. You got like 30 seconds there, half an hour there. It's not about getting it perfectly, it's just getting it in a reasonable amount of time. 180 is just an endurance. No matter if I say that it's easier to do for 9 hours of 180 than Hero, it's still 9 hours. You have to do that, and it's not something everyone's going to be able to do.
This is about a 12% chance to get through.
Come on.
Come on.
Oh! Let's go!
Oh my god! You got past that bar at AGDQ.
I can't believe that,
dude. I am not joking when I say there is no trick there. You just go for the kill plane and hope you make it.
For many people just passing by, the most exciting thing about a speedrun is seeing a runner break the game outright. By that metric, Sonic Adventure 2 is as fun as they come. It's a monster truck rally of out-of-bounds, clips, skips, and crisp, aggressive movement. A symphony of shit that shouldn't work, ever. Yet here we are watching Traitor do it like it's nothing, right?
I break it down into subsplits myself, into Hero Story, Dark Story, Reset missions, which is a gigantic chunk because a lot of them are difficult. I think the things that the viewers see are all the cool strats like CGSS. You jump out of the stage by going between 2 kill planes and navigating through the out of bounds to hit the goal ring at the very end of the stage, or city escape skip, things that are very flashy. If there's one thing that SA2 has, it's flashy skips.
Nice. There you go.
You see the cool movement that we do and stuff like that. And I think the thing that people don't see is how many things are going wrong in the run. A lot of things don't go right. I will do runs and I'll make small mistakes. I'll miss a jump or I'll fall somewhere, and you have to react in a split second to understand, what do I need to do? Can I save this? And can I bring this back and still get the A rank? Because the most important thing for 180 is getting the A ranks. Talon had the record for years and years, and nobody had even come relatively close to Talon. Talon had done the initial routes for everything, and had help from other community members. And I used that as the initial base for how I want to do it. I went through every single stage, every single mission, and thought, can I make it less lenient on myself? I tend to just go for as hard as possible until I see a dip in consistency, and then I just pull back a bit. For myself, the reason why I was able to mentally just continue with it and not feel as stressed is because I just had stream on. If I was getting frustrated, I would look at chat, talk to people, have fun. The worst thing you can do is have a big mistake make you believe that you're going to make more big mistakes, because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. As long as you recognize that it's happening, it's pretty easy to stop as well. So that's the good news. I made a lot of mistakes at the end. I lost 35 seconds overall at the end. Overall though, not bad.
When looking at pretty much any speedrun category this long, there tend to be large defined chunks, hours-long phases that stand out from the rest of the run. Sonic Adventure 2 has its initial story chunks, followed generally by the mission chunks, all of which consist of core gameplay. But the final major portion of the run, where you race and compete with Chao, is a hell all its own. An RNG death gauntlet that you can't execute your way out of. Once you do your part, you have to watch in horror and suspense for the outcomes. It's like waiting in line at the DMV, having done all your paperwork, and just hoping that the clerk is in a good enough mood to give you what you need to drive home.
Barely made it.
Welcome to Chao.
What? What?
Chao is only 5% of the emblems, and it takes up 38% of the actual run's duration. It's crazy, because most of it is just the races. The races are 2.5 hours long. I don't think there's a single part of Chao that can't just kill your run immediately. You raise a Chao for about an hour, you have to do 569 animal glitches. Then after that, you think, oh, thank God, I'm done with the Chao evolution. Now it's time for the thing that can actually kill my run, Chao Karate. Even though we have a Chao that is manip to be consistent, we have a pretty high likelihood that we can lose the final level of Chao Karate, which we call getting flashed if you lose to him.
Just get him out. One more, please. Oh my God, I lost! What? He killed me in one hit! Are you kidding?
You continue from the Chao Karate to the races, and the diamond race, the final diamond race, which is also 2.5 to maybe 3 minutes long, you can also just lose even though you did nothing. Your Chao just can get unlucky. I don't like when this happens on the final one, because then it gives me way more terror. In a mission, you're only really gonna lose a few seconds if you make up some mistake in movement, tens of seconds or a minute if you make a mistake and die. If you just get unlucky in Chao, you're going to lose 2.5 minutes or more, and it's completely out of your control. It's pretty stressful. But after that, it's done, so it's pretty good there.
One strike against this being the hardest speedrun imaginable is that 180 Emblems does have several built-in bathroom breaks. Bummer, I know.
There are 3 or 4 massive places where you can just take a break. The first being the credits. Every story has a credit scene, which is around 3 to 3.5 minutes long, except last story, which is like 5 minutes long. The other one is Chao. After the evolution, you don't have any control with them in the karate or the races. So during that time, as long as you menu, afterwards, you don't have to do anything. So you can just eat, drink, go to the washroom, anything you want. You could sleep for 3 minutes if you know how to do that or something. You can route it so that Chao is in the middle, but if you do that, it becomes really difficult to just play afterwards because your hands aren't used to it anymore. You gotta have it warmed up and stuff.
Even by the standards of other 9-hour runs, there is a tremendous amount of parameters at play here. Information has to be modular. A runner must memorize every clue on every treasure hunter level and take each subsequent clue in stride as well.
Alright, 200 points under what I'd like to have, but you know what? We made the cycle.
Another major layer that complicates the routing is the need to hit an A rank on every single mission in the game in order to get the all A rank emblems. A ranks are achieved by clearing a certain point threshold, and these points are accrued by killing enemies, going fast, and collecting rings. In a run this long, perfection doesn't exist. Things go awry, and Traitor must change the play on the field whenever they do to ensure that something as catastrophic as a B rank doesn't occur and add full minutes to the run.
I'm gonna die. Oh my god, that was close. There's just so much stuff to memorize. There's all the hints that you have to memorize for each of the treasure hunting. There's all the different movements that you have to do for the speed characters and all the point places that you can find to get enough points to get the A rank. The way I learned the routes was, this is the fastest possible route. This is how much points it gives. This is how much I need to still get the A rank. It might seem daunting when there's 155 missions that you have to do. You think, oh my god, how does someone memorize everything? A lot of the times, you can just do exactly the same thing you did for mission 1, for mission 4, and only like small differences for mission 5.
If you can't already tell by how much time is left in the video, there is way more difficult stuff to highlight in this run. We've seen the tip of the iceberg, now let's pop our heads underwater and see how big the thing really is, with some RNG, run killers, and plain old hard stuff.
There's so many things that can kill your run in this category for the treasure hunting characters. There's all the RNG. There are 9 stages and 18 missions. Mission 1 and Mission 4 that have just pure RNG. I've had literal minutes lost just because of the luck I had, and I could not do anything about it. I hate this piece. Very high likelihood that it's just not here because it's a 50-50 chance. And who would have thought I'd fail the 50-50 every single time? Yeah, that's all because of this mad space that the run isn't world record pace anymore. Otherwise, it was a very good time. There's also all the run killers of Cannon Score. Normally when you start Cannon Score, you start in the Tails mission. But we skip Tails, Eggman, and Rouge. The way we get the A rank isn't by points, which is 90% of how we get the A ranks for other stages. So how do you get the A rank? Well, there's a hidden mechanic where if you get all the rings in a stage, no matter how many points, no matter what time you get an A rank. Then it just means you have to continue the rest of the stage without getting hit once. Not only can you not get hit, you can't die, and the reason why you can't die is because you don't get sent back to the character that you were playing as, you get sent back all the way to Tails. And that's 3.5 minutes lost or something crazy like that. For me personally, any stage that has a major skip is a run killer. CE skip, sometimes task run depending on how crazy I feel in Green Forest. There's things like Final Chase M5 where I do fling, which is a crazy thing where you go under a kill plane, over another kill plane, do a very precise angle to switch your gravity. If you jump off on the wrong frame of the rail, you have to do an even more precise angle to fix the direction you're heading out into space just to be able to get the A rank. There's the splits that I call the hard splits, and it's a 31-minute section of just everything I can do that can just kill my run immediately after you get past Hero and Dark Story. Every single split there is one that will kill the run. Route 280 M3, which isn't technically hard, but if you make a mistake, it's painful and then you just have to reset. Eternal Engine, I do the skip for that. For some reason, it's so easy to make a mistake, and being one of the longest stages, if you make a mistake, it's just basically better to just kill the run at that point. Crazy Gadget has all its missions in there because they're just scary. There's no mission that feels easy to do in Crazy Gadget. It feels very rewarding and fun, but it's also very easy to mess up, and so that's why I put it there. I've gone for CGSS, which is the scariest thing to do in a run, but it saves like 50 seconds, so it's worth it. I think the biggest thing, realistically, that is the hardest is keeping yourself focused on the goal of continuing the run. It is too easy to just be 4 hours in or something and think, oh, well, I'm so far ahead, I basically got this in the bag, and then just next split, the run dies. That's how they're made, rather than the normal way of making maps. Are you? Get under there, Sonic! Sonic! Why? One final thing, I was so busy and focused on the run that I forgot about the thing outside the run that really, really matters. It's this, my hands. You need to take care of your hands. If you don't, you'll be like me and just for months not be able to use them because you overworked them and almost permanently destroyed them. Do your hand and wrist stretches and never, never ignore the pain in your hands.
Sonic Adventure 2 is emblematic of Sega's old tendency to design games and hardware that were considerably ahead of their time. After all, here we all are 20 years later still watching it, playing it, and labbing it out. 180 Emblems has come so very far, and there's plenty of room for invention left.
This category started out as a joke between Logan and Talon, and they got something like a 14 and a half hour time to be the first ever run. As the route was steadily becoming real, there was more stuff that was taken incredibly lower. And then you looked at the 180 world record progression, and you would see one name, and you would think it was a joke or something, but it's just Talon. At the time, I think my PB was a 11 and a half hour time. So, you know, there was a pretty long journey there. It took 8 years, I think, on 2021 before someone finally bopped them. And it was Katie, who is the person that everyone knows as like the best player of SA2. Katie's just great at learning things very quickly. Not only that, they just have an extensive list of things that they are the best at in this game. It was getting very, very close. Both of us were right at the record, and then Katie got it first. They got the world record before I did, and were the first person ever to beat Talon in the category. But not long after that, after having things go my way and not having my PC crash in the middle of an attempt, we got the world record, and it was a massive PB for me. I think it was 6 minutes, which is kind of insane at that level. Surely something can happen here.
Oh, what? Yes!
I think everyone in the community is pretty open to strats and everything like that. If you have something, you share it immediately. In the Sonic Adventure 2 speedrunning Discord, we have a whole section called SA2B Learning and Science. It has a resources channel, an ask for help channel, a science channel. Overall, we have a lot of camaraderie in that regard. My biggest rivals were definitely Talon and Katie. There were a few others, like I mentioned, Prophet. There's also Drum and Aiden who had ran the categories as well. Talon's one of my best friends that I have in this community. There's Dawn, Emerald, Talon. Those guys are the people that I know the most. Talon was probably a huge factor into why I liked running the category in general. He was always very helpful, always wanting to talk about it, and never felt annoyed or upset that someone was asking them, hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? Asking multiple times.
I want you to sit down and try to do an individual level run in this game. Any of them. Just pick one. I want you to feel in your hands just how difficult it is to do any of this stuff consistently, or at all.
Oh, I did it!
The work these players have put in is fascinating, not just for the big wild tricks, but for just nailing all the granular movement for hours on end. Believe me, I've tried.
Alright, so we want to do upright. Oh.
Over the years, some runs this long tend to stagnate. It's hard to grapple with rerouting a body of gameplay this massive. But Sonic Adventure 2 180 Emblems is still full of potential, and the community is seizing this opportunity.
We changed the timing method, so it's no longer real time, but now it is loadless, and it significantly lowers the time to something like 7 hours and 20 minutes. We stopped counting the emblem times. What that opened up, though, is the entire route can be completely customized to whatever you want. Now you can do missions anytime, anywhere, and it doesn't matter. And that's really helpful because now there are a few new wrong warps and Chao key glitch, which is something that was never even used in this. It was only used in like any percent. You're able to bring characters into different stages than where they're supposed to be. A good example of it is Knuckles in Final Chase M3. Instead of playing the stage completely as Shadow, instead you just glide to the end. You go around some kill planes and you get there and you save about a minute. Now we have a Chao that has an S rank in run, but he's also an idiot. So there's an intelligence stat and he is not that good in there. But at the very least, he can run fast. If I were to continue grading it via like RTA, I would not be surprised to see someone break the 8-hour and 40-minute mark that we have right now. And that would be insane, and I hope to be the person that does that.
I think Sonic Adventure 2 180 Emblems might be one of, if not the single most difficult speedrun ever conceived on a lot of levels. It's prohibitively long, there's virtually zero casual point of entry for this run, the first 5 hours are a medley of all the execution-intensive play that the story runs require multiple times over, and the next few hours are just a series of hostage situations where you hand your beautiful baby run over to the RNG gods and watch as they dangle it over the edge of the abyss over and over and over. But hey, I'm not the one running it, Traitor is, so I had to know what he thought of it.
It's easily not the hardest one, because 180 is in 430, and 430 is just like the 180 emblems. It's 130 emblems for SADX and 120 emblems and heroes. You combine all three of those, that's the run. At the end of the day, I don't think any one run is harder or easier no matter what, no matter how difficult it may look. You find what you want and you just strive to it and see how difficult it is to get there. Speedrunning is a kind of art. If you're streaming, you're performing for an audience and trying to show people the amount of thousands of hours, the thousands of attempts you've done, the honed, polished masterpiece that you've created with that time.
I think we gotta give Seraphim a little bit of energy. Yeah. Congratulations.
So there you have it. The only limit to how brutal a speedrun can be is your imagination. Any of you can cobble together a hopefully coherent run of some of your favorite games, slap some stipulations on it, and try to beat it before your blood sugar tanks and your eyes start rolling back in your head. Anyone can come up with an idea though. To take that idea and bring it to fruition, that's special. That's why we're all here, to make something beautiful and show it to others, hoping they can understand and see the beauty too. I sure as hell did. I had a blast making this, and I hope you felt the same watching it. Thanks for stopping by, and see you next time.
Finally! I did it! I did it! Oh!
Remember how I was talking about how you have to be like highly motivated, masochistic or insane? I think I'm masochistic because I decided I want to make it damageless. So I can't get hit a single time. I've gotten a third of the way done. I got 60 emblems. I've been getting into blindfolded runs of SA2 and that is crazy and it is really difficult, but at first I thought it was going to be impossible to even get anything routed out because Knuckles is RNG. How are you going to know what piece you get? I found that I can route a few of the things. I've routed City Escape, Bigfoot, and a bit of Wild Canyon, and I think that it's possible to route stuff out. Hey, if you want to start learning how to play SA2, I have a YouTube series that I'm going to be doing, which is a playlist for Hero Story, and eventually I'm going to try to do it for Dark Story and Last. Oh, also, there's the Sonic Adventure 2 speedrunning Discord. If you don't want to watch me, there's like hundreds of people in there that can help you with learning the game.